This is going to be very interesting today, my darlings, and all I have to say is Candace Owens. Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Lady Zelda with True Oracle. Today is Monday, November 24th of 2025. Wow. And wow, I know all of you have seen what's been going on with Candace and her breaking news announcement. And it is heart-wrenching and heart-gutching. Heart-breaking. That's a better word. Are we not through with corruption and lies and evil? I mean, that's really what it is. So today we're going to read on this. I'm going to read gingerly because I'm not going to bring up those because now the algorithm in YouTube is they're on it. So I don't want to be cryptic, but I think you all know exactly, and you will know what I'm talking about and what I'm saying. This is a situation where it goes back a lot further than September 10th of this year, and a lot further than 2025. Things have been brewing up for quite some time, and this is a situation in which this is extremely serious. So I want to read for Candace today. We're just going to pull out some cards. I've got the Crime and Shadows. I've got the Piotnik. I have a deck here that you've not seen, and you'll recognize it once I lay it out. And then I have a tarot. Now, I don't know what Candace's birthday is, and it's okay. I really don't know. So for those of you who are tempted to put that in the comments, it won't matter anyway, but thank you so much. And while I have you, please do me a favor, like and subscribe. And I want to thank you all for being here, showing up for us. We're in this together. All of us worldwide, we're in this together. Now, the other thing I will say is this. I am a tarot profiler. I am a seer. I read energy. I don't read spirits. I don't read anything like that. No conjuring, anything. I know some of you don't like to hear that when I announce that. Well, I have to announce that because if you would see the comments that I get, and plus it is a disclaimer. And that's what I have to do because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a law enforcement. I'm not a medical professional. I am who I am, and this is my opinion, and it is entertainment purposes only. So there we go. Let's get started, my darlings. Let's get started. Now, the energy I have here is for Candace Owens. And for Candace, who believes in dreams and who talked about, I believe her name is Brett Cooper. I really like her. Here comes a card. There we go. Brett Cooper, who is just this adorable, young, ambitious lady that has come up from the ranks and who has experienced a lot of trauma in her family, went to a psychic, and learned a few things. That's amazing, isn't it? So here we are, my darlings. We've got the first card out. The lock and key with a message, shedding some light on some. I still have to break these cards in, but they're working. They're going to be okay. There's another message. Okay. Okay. So lots of messages. On the bottom of the deck, we have this. And it doesn't surprise me. We're going to move the hand of fate with the dice. And by the way, I just let the dice fall on there the way they did. And it's kind of amazing because in the next 10 days, within 10 days, Mercury is going to be going direct on the 29th, and then we enter into this shadow period. Just be aware, this is going to be that Mercury retrograde punch week where you just feel like you get punched. And it's a gut punch. And I think there's going to be a lot of information come out, a lot more. and lots of drama. So if you can avoid the drama in your life, in others' lives, whatever, and just kind of ride this out, you're going to be just fine. But one thing I like about Mercury retrograde, it's bringing the truth to the table. In this last week, it really digs the truth up from everything that we are looking at, right? All right. So let's talk about these cards that we have on the table right now. The cards we have on the table, this card especially, I think, is very interesting because it really kind of coincides with this card. You see how the drapery is pulled back and someone in the shadows has been revealed. Well, this is when you first surmise. This is when you first get that feeling. Is someone watching? Is someone coming out? And you make sure you're watching. You pull the curtain back while you're sitting and watching. Most of us want to know what's coming, even though we don't want to know what's coming, right? All of these have light that has been shed on the situation. We will be getting more and more information. And quite frankly, there may have been an attempt in the past, and Candace, she's not told us. But that's neither here nor there. It was not successful. Bravo, right? But she's definitely hit a nerve. Definitely. Regardless of how you feel. Regardless of how you feel, we all should feel that we have that one person in our lives that would bear our cross if something happened to us. I certainly would want that. Someone who just gets to the bottom of it and doesn't stop. My question to you, my dear friends here of the channel and beyond, where's Erica? Where is she in all this? Why hasn't she stepped up and denounced any of this sort of kind of thing going on? Yeah, you guessed it. Okay, so now you see messages, lock and key, things that are locked away, but someone who is able to unlock the situation and share by message with Candace. Now Candace has been living, lurking, sort of kind of being in the shadows, taking care to make sure under the moon that she and her family are okay. This is a very involved card. That being, Candace's life is an open book. However, at what point do you say it's too open? She is one of these people that have been out there and she can't help it. She has no privacy. And yet, she is pulled back. She lights the lamp to show her the way. There's been a lot of prayer happening. I can feel it. You and I are feeling it as well. Now this. She has discovered the truth. But my dear Candace, there's more coming. There's more coming. There's more people involved in what you think, say, and feel. Now comes this deck of cards. I know you're going to recognize them. It is a cross between the House of Zelda and a Cartomancy deck. There is the wolf in sheep's clothing with the 5 of diamonds. It is time to rest. The 4 of diamonds. Diamonds are all communication, and look, we have all 3 are diamonds. And I'm going to point something out. You probably are already recognizing it. And there is the last one. And I'm going to tell you what, spades in a Cartomancy deck, for me, now, I have my own. There are several ways. There's not just one. And I don't critique other readers because, they have their own journey, just like I do. So for me, the spades are not good cards. They're just not. And that's why this stolen has been on here. Let me see. At the bottom of the deck, we have another spade that says do the right thing. Okay, so now here we come. I'm going to put this right here on the bottom so you all can see this. Wolf in sheep's clothing, we see this. We see this constantly. Those who pretend to be something that is not. And what question did I just ask? And I get this. Now, the diamonds are, in my way of reading, all about communication, but they can also be about legal. They can be about testing. They can be about examinations. Yeah, but Zelda, this has nothing to do with school or university. No, sometimes it's a life examination. Sometimes we have to see what we pass in the test. The one thing that I will tell you is that Candace is fully awake. She woke up to not trusting and not believing a single soul. And you know what? I wouldn't either, and you wouldn't either. No judgment here. We don't judge. It's not political. It's not anything. Reading the energy, and this is what's coming off of it. This poor lass has been talking about everything. She's been in communication with those, and don't worry, she does have personal protection. I'm seeing this. But this card is amazing me because the Three of Spades is a card of which there is a third-party influence. Let me say it this way, a third-party interference. An interference in her, not only business, her life, but her way of thinking. And quite frankly, when someone comes out at you so hard, there's an element of truth in which perhaps maybe is being told. Because you see, all evil knows is to eliminate, and they think that if they eliminate, the problem goes away, which it does not. There's several layers, as you well know, about those who Candace has or have talked about in the past and mentioned. She's had that little circle on her, and you know what I mean. The little, one of my favorite places to shop, the store called Target. Anyway, got off track there. But it's basically saying that it is time for rest. Candace needs rest right now. She needs to focus on she and her family. She needs to focus on a lot of things. And I'm very proud that this has garnered some attention. And I actually saw Benny Johnson talking about this. She's starting to really raise awareness and questions about what really happened and is what really happening. See, these cards, the Cartomancy is all about making decisions, making them quickly, making them, even though you don't want to, feeling progress and feeling the exam, feeling the pressure, feeling about what's to come. And amazingly enough, you see over here our little dice, the 10, we opened with 10 days. Well, darlings, this says the next 30 days are so important because if you add another 20 onto the 10, we will be through the Mercury retrograde and then that shadow period. What is the shadow period? I'm going to say it's like a Mercury retrograde hangover. Like, what if you wake up and you think, what have I been through? All of this technology, all of this sort of thing. Well, you know what happened. Candace stirred the pot. What happens when you stir a pot? Well, it starts to stink. no matter what's in it, it starts to stink. You start to smell. And everybody was smelling the pot that Candace was stirring. So be careful of what you say. I'm being careful. This Six of Spades is another card in which it is a card of not only frustration, but it is a card in which you start seeing the truth and it's very hard to face. Right here is do the right thing. Now, Candace is doing the right thing. She's not going to take anything for granted. She's going to do the right thing. Let's consult the tarot. We're going to ask, got some questions. Candace going to be okay? Is her family going to be okay? Look, there's a bridge card that came out. We're going to lay it there. Will Candace be okay? Her family be okay? Is she protected? I know she's divinely protected. Here's another card. This comes out. All right, so now I want to know, what is at the foot of this bridge? What is at the foot of the bridge? Okay. Now, what is on the other side of the bridge? What happens once she crosses the bridge? Where is she? Where's she going once she crosses the bridge? Okay. Okay. We're going to keep going and lay out 2 more cards, and then we're going to see what's happening there. So thanks so much for being here with me. Very good. Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck. We're going to make room here. Zelda, you need a football field. I do, indeed. So what does this mean? First of all, we have some zodiac markers out here that I want to point out. We have 2 water signs, especially. And then we have this beautiful sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is supposed to be the most intelligent of the zodiac. I know a lot of Aquarius. It seems to be that many of them are educated. I can go along with that, although I know many others who are intelligent who are also other signs. So I don't want to fall into that little bunny trail. But there are some things here. Let's point out about this card. We have this young lady kneeling on one knee. She's balancing herself. She's got water coming out of these 2 vessels. One is being poured into the ground. One is being poured into the pot. And then all the stars. And the stars make up a lot. 7 stars. And then this one big star here. Well, we have the 7 smaller stars that are in white. That is the divine power. That means she's got a divine power looking after her. That's why, my darlings, someone felt the urge to pick up the phone and call and say, hey, there's something brewing. You better be careful. Now, this big star makes number 8. 8 is strength. It's an infinite number. It can be. Now, let's break it down a little further. You see this lady here. That takes some balance, quite frankly, to kneel like that and being, multitasking. And it takes balance within your conscious and your subconscious mind. It takes work-life balance. This all represents Candace. It also represents that prayers, petitions, and meditation is recognized and heard. Pouring this water into the jug is symbolized by, you see the ripples here. Sometimes things have a ripple effect. And this thing with Charlie, definitely rippling. Now, what's happening over here? Well, if we look at it as information, okay? If we look at it as information, some of the information that Candace put out was not being recognized as truthful. And basically, it just looks like it went nowhere. But guess what happens? Water always gravitates. Do you see how it's making its way to the big pond? That's exactly it. And no, all water in the tarot come from the High Priestess card and her robes. Water is a life force. Keep that in mind. So now we have next this bridge card that I like to call the zodiac sign of Cancer. This is a card of travel. This is a card of you may go somewhere, but you wish you could just be home. This is a card of a division. Maybe traveling in one area, maybe going in another. It can be a lot of different things. That is the bridge that Candace is taking. Is there a move involved? Probably. Because quite frankly, when something like this happens, it's just really never over. There may always be, operative word, always be some rogue individual that decides to take matters into their own hands. Prayers that she has that hedge of protection around her. And may God charge his angels around her. This Queen of Pentacles, she's looking at this intently. Now, this doesn't mean that Candace is after money. Usually this is a healing in the financial house. Well, what did Charlie want? He wanted a forensic audit. I believe he got it now. There may be an IRS issue now. But looking at this pentacle means that you're looking into, you're paying attention. And that's exactly where Candace took this, because following the money brought her to this space. Now, next, the wands are always fire elements, and they are very fiery. This has many layers as well. You see, this young man has a robe of red. He looks very well dressed. The fire elements of the wands open doors. They mean growth, and they can mean a fire in your belly. The world is in this man's hand. Bottom line, this is the energy that Candace has. The world is in her hands right now, bringing awareness. And the red in the robe is all about passion, compassion, love, even control, and many times power. You see, something different we have here as well is that one of these wands is anchored to the castle wall, and he's standing in front of it with his back back toward it, because he's made a decision. He made a collective decision early on, and he's going to stick with it, and he's not going to go back. And that's why it's anchored there. That's why anchoring the past in the past is so important, because now she's got work to do. And this is a card that is about to be, I'm going to say it that way, it is about to be more exploration. This is the Knight of Pentacles, which is telling us that there's more things about some money that are about ready to come out. Right now it's been pretty chill. I mean, we have an idea, but there's more. There's more about to come. And amazingly enough, this Six of Pentacles is all about the giving and the receiving. But something I want to point out to you is, you see, there is a scale here that he is holding. Not only is it justice, but it's balance. And it comes right back over to this particular card right here, the Star card. It is all about giving and taking and what happened. And it is tied in close proximity to this Queen. Last but not least, until we get to this fellow, is this Moon card. all about intuition, but it's the sign of Pisces, a gut instinct, clairvoyant. Candace had a dream of Charlie. Charlie also said, go Max. That's exactly what she's been doing. This right here, these pillars right here represent the gates of heaven. Now, does that mean? No, it does not. I don't predict that. What that means is sometimes reaching a goal can be heavenly, euphoric. And everyone this card represents on earth, every creature that God has created will have a goal, including the dog, including the wolf, and even this little mindless, crusty guy. Sorry, buddy, but it's true. Coming from the water, the life force. And you see, the path is narrow, but not straight until you can get to your goal. And it can happen day and night. Okay, now this fellow. Interesting things about him. He's in the desert. To me, that was Candace. She was alone in this for a long time. She's the one who brought awareness. She's the one who should be getting accolades right now instead of what she's been getting. There are particular files from a particular island that are coming out. That plays a lot in this. We're going to talk about that sometime soon. But back to this, and please don't put any of these names. I won't see them. They get hidden right away. I can see that there's some there. I won't see them. So if you mention names or if we go off the deep end, I won't see your comment. I would prefer to see your comment. I read all of them. I wish I could respond to all of you, and I appreciate it so much. But she's been out in the desert. But notice that this fellow right here is very well dressed. And the spirit animal, you might not be able to make it out of this card, is the salamander. Now the salamander is the spirit animal of the wand suit, supposedly, allegedly, and no, we're not going to find this out, but metaphorically speaking, he is the fellow that can go through fire and not be singed. Let's think that Candace is doing this. Not only this, I know many of you have heard this expression. You see him, and he's got this little feather. Look, this is a feather in her cap. She's brought awareness to a lot of things. And yes, some things I think are deep and maybe should force, I don't know, okay? Maybe some things do need to remain secret, but many things do not. This is looking up, and I'm going to say this is looking up for Candace and is looking up for the investigation for Charlie Kirk. Once again, fire element, growth, open doors, opportunity, allowing more information to come in. And you see there's some little, I want to say mountains, desert mountains in the background. It'd be cool if it were pyramids, but I don't believe, might be pyramids. Gee, wouldn't that be a kicker? Because, we do have mountains over here. So let's just say that might be pyramids. More information coming out. And if you know, you know. I have one more little, yes, I can't help myself. I'm going to keep going here, and we're going to only pull out 2 cards of this and see where we are. There's fortune, fortunate, and falseness. And an enemy. We know that she has an enemy, and it is over exposure of the money and the falseness and the wolf in sheep's clothing. Amazing, isn't it? Now we're just going to let these dice fall where they may. If you don't like this sound, I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds to mute until you see that the dice have dropped, okay? So here we go. interesting. Now, the reason that says bicycle is because that is the manufacturer of this dice. They also manufacture a lot of playing cards that I use, and I happen to like them. No, not sponsored. I'd love to be, but no. That's why it says bicycle. Amazingly enough, we talked about the number 8. And how did we get here? Well, there's 6 and 4 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think that's right. 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That is a number 6. But we've talked about a number 8. And you see, we've got different combinations that can happen with this. And so what this is saying is this. There's so much going on and so many avenues and so many paths. This is an infinite amount of information that is coming out, and there's more coming. Will Candace and her family be okay? Yes. Have someone tried to do something before? Yes. Will something more come out as far as information that I'm going to say is just going to feel like devastating? Like, what? Yeah, it will. So, my darlings, pray for Candace. Pray for peace. No matter how anyone feels about her and or Charlie and or any of them, no one deserves that. Period. Sometimes you just got to, stand back and do what you can to overcome. But she definitely has more than one enemy. You may have to watch this a couple of times, my darlings, but thanks so much for being here. Join me tonight at 7 p.m. for Manifestation Monday, right here. You're going to love it. We talk about living the life you deserve and attracting what belongs to you. 7 p.m. Eastern, that is America, New York time. Don't forget to describe, hello, no. You want to you want to subscribe, we'll get it. Subscribe. This is real, my darlings. That's all I can be. Subscribe, like, comment. Let me know in the comments what okay? And let's keep them nice so they don't get hidden. And let's not mention names. You can put initials, but let's not mention names because I want to read what you have to say. Everyone is welcome here. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you again very soon, and hopefully tonight at Manifestation Monday. I'm going to leave some links at the end of this. If you'd like a numerology reading, come on. You click the link, and it's in the description as well. Have a good one, everyone. Bye for now.